Whales are finally once again buying up Bitcoin at levels that we haven't seen in months. We're going to take a look at the Bitcoin and Ethereum charts and all the news driving market and tell you how we know that the whales are buying. You don't want to miss this one. Let's go. What is up, everybody? I'm Scott Melker, also known as the Wolf of All Streets. Before we get started, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the thumbs up right down below to like this video. Smash the like button, as the YouTubers say. Now, as I mentioned, we're seeing some encouraging signs. Whales are once again starting to buy and accumulate Bitcoin at levels that we have not seen in many months. This was the key driver of the bull run from 10,000 to 65,000, so it's an important metric to watch. But first, before we dig into all the news, I'm going to take a look at the Bitcoin and Ethereum charts to see what is likely coming, or if there's anything to look at all, because we all know that we have been chopping sideways effectively for almost 8 weeks, and that Bitcoin is boring. First, we're going to take a look at the monthly chart. You can see this massive channel price has been in since 2013, and the close of last month of June right here held that EQ, that mid-range dash line right there, barely as support. So this month is trading below, but we have, about 25, 26 more days for it to close back above that. That is worth watching. Last month's candle was a high wave spinning top, meaning some bearish indecision. You see the wick above, the wick below. It means that price was pushed in both directions and nobody really advanced. So you want to see some follow through on the next candle to confirm which direction it's likely to go. We will be watching the monthly, but not much to see there for now. The weekly closed last night, as you can see. We had once again another what you would consider potentially a high wave spinning top or a spinning top with the long wick above and the long wick below on the weekly as well. What's notable to me, these are the retracement levels up from 3,800 in March of 2020. That huge move from 3,800 all the way up to around 65,000. You can see that if you pull a line here, which is right about this high around 35,000, 34 just below that. If you pull the 50% retracement, not a fib level, but a key retracement level known as the Dow level, right here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 candles that have held this line as support, every single one wicking below it. What does that indicate? Tons of buying demand down here. Now listen, if you keep selling into it, eventually that demand disappears. The more you sell into a certain area, the less likely it is to hold. But that said, we have 7 weeks of wicks down there and heavy buying, which lines up with the narrative that whales have been accumulating every time they get their chance below that 34,378 level. Now, digging into the daily chart, you can see we're still kind of trading around the EQ of this descending blue channel. It's a perfect channel. It's got touches down, up, down, really ideal and hitting both. So you can see we want to keep holding the EQ of this channel, potentially head up. We have the 50 MA screaming down here, which is likely to continue to be resistance. We'd love to see trading over that. It was nice to see a little bit of a move over the weekend, but we saw that last Sunday too. Really low volume, non-existent. Price rising on descending volume, really no trading going on, and then getting rejected coming into Monday. We can see that better here on the 4-hour chart. Look at that rejection exactly at the EQ of this channel, which we've talked about so many times. Price really having trouble around that 36,000 level. I mean, that was hitting it almost to the dollar. We have some local demand here off this area, this cluster of price action, and we'll have local supply here coming back up to 36. At the end of the day, low volume rise. I mean, there's nobody trading this thing. Rejection, price coming right back down to where it started on the weekend. Really ugly, impossible to trade, disgusting price action. I can't see anyone trying to trade this chop, but by all means, if that's your thing, have at it. I just can't do it personally. Now let's take a very quick look at Ethereum Bitcoin. As you can see, I had posted this trade back on around June 25th. So almost about 10 days ago, and you can see it played out almost perfectly. Broke the first resistance, tested support, and almost got all the way to the target right here, about 0.067 to get front run by that dash EQ. I consider this trade closed. I'm not saying that Ethereum won't go up any further, but that was basically a perfect trade with a 7.88 risk reward ratio, as you can see. And I still would imagine it will test the EQ. You'd have a new trade if it flips the EQ and see what it does heading to the top. So Ethereum has clearly been dominating Bitcoin, as we discussed was possible. Ethereum and USD, this was also a bottom, which we talked about. Clear bullish divergence with RSI, and then moving up above, breaking horizontal resistance and testing descending resistance and horizontal resistance, both as support right here in the same spot. But we would like to see the EQ of this channel hold. Right now it is breaking down. So you want to see price back above that, start targeting the top. Ultimately, this 2274 area was the target. It broke above, got all the way almost to 2400. But now we want to see this area holding as support so we can start targeting the top of this channel at 3000. Ethereum still, to me, looks more promising than Bitcoin, but it ain't going to matter if Bitcoin ends up dropping. So let's talk about what we were talking about before. Here is the news about whales. Bitcoin supply held by whale entities hits 2-month high in bullish sign. Blockchain data shows wealthy investors are coming back to the Bitcoin market. Wealthy investors look to be making a comeback into the Bitcoin market, a blockchain metric that warned of a price drop in early May shows. The number of coins held by whale entities, which is considered anyone with 1,000 to 10,000 in a wallet, rose by over 80,000 coins to 4.216 million Bitcoin on Friday, hitting the highest level since May. The number of whale entities has also jumped to a 3-week high. The renewed accumulation by whale entity is good news for the market, as these wealthy investors played a significant role in powering Bitcoin higher from 10,000 to nearly 60,000 during the 5 months to February 2021. This balance rose with price during the bull run. So very, 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 very interesting to see that bulls are once again very, very, very interesting to see that whales are once again accumulating. As I've always said, in a free market like this, you want to be on side with the whales. You don't want to be counter trading what they're doing. Luckily, we have on-chain metrics like this that show us exactly what they're doing. We can see what their wallets are doing. We can see where the coins are going. In my opinion, it's better to be on their side than trying to counter trade them. Willy Woo, who I'm having on the podcast very soon, showed the same thing here. Whales, nom, nom, nom. Bitcoin, so yummy today. This was 2 days ago, and you could see this huge spike right here in accumulation by whales. The more panic there is in the market and retail, the more fear, the more doubt, the more likely it is that the bottom is close and that whales are going to accumulate and send price up, because that's where there would be maximum pain. Crypto exchanges post $958 billion in volume during month of June. That's a lot, right? $958 billion. No. Not a lot. That's down 50% from just May, where they had 2.18 trillion. Very clear that retail has lost their appetite for trading and investing in Bitcoin for the moment on these exchanges. People are just waiting. That's generally something you see during these periods of consolidation, even if it's going to drop further or if its accumulation is going to head up. You see decreasing volume, and then the volume kicks back in when the range is broken either to the upside or the downside, which gives us more definitive information on the next move. Ransom group Revolut, whatever they're called, strikes again, demands 70 million in Bitcoin from 200 US firms. A Russian-based ransomware group is now demanding Bitcoin in exchange for a decryptor for the infected machines. This is a massive hack because they hacked a company called Kaseya, I believe that's how you pronounce it, which is a software supplier, and then it went to all the machines in their network. So over 1 million machines are said to be infected, according to various other reports. Listen, we know that ransomware happens with or without crypto, and we know that criminals are going to do crime whether they have crypto or not, but it is very clear that Bitcoin is making this a lot easier and is definitely not helping our cause at all. How do we know? Well, Biden orders investigation after ransomware attack on American IT firm. We're getting through the energy narrative, so now we got to move on to only used by criminals, right? Because that's one we have to check off the box that we hear every single time that price seems to drop. Of course, but this is a real concern, as I said, and they do need to nip this in the bud and stop these guys. I mean, as you can see here, REvil were also the ones who attacked Colonial Pipeline and JBS Holdings, and clearly they're getting more bold and getting more intelligent by attacking a network that can spread among multiple other companies. This is going to be worth watching for sure. Bitcoin network undergoes largest difficulty drop ever by nearly 28% this weekend. Because of the mass migration out of China, them turning off all their machines and the drop in hash rate, we saw a huge difficulty decrease. I started mining Bitcoin a few weeks ago with Compass Mining. They're in the description, and I'm doing a video to talk about how you do that. Really, really simple. You go on their site, you buy a machine, they set it up for you wherever you like. Basically, mine presently are in Canada. Russia and setting some up in South Carolina. And they do all the dirty work. You just have to basically pay for the electricity and make sure that you pay for your rig. Really, really fun and really, really simple. Well, I saw almost a 50% spike this weekend in how much I was making on a daily basis mining because I am in North America. The difficulty adjustment went down and the China migration is happening. That's why I decided that I wanted to personally start mining. But this is absolutely huge for North American miners and other miners outside of China. They're going to make so much more money, much higher margins because of the China shutoff. And we know it's probably a move towards people who care a bit more about energy consumption and where that energy comes from. This is going to take a very long time to recover as the hash rate increases. I interviewed Whit Gibbs, the CEO of Compass Mining, for the podcast, which will come out soon. And he basically talked all about that. He said Chinese miners have very little option right now. There's no rack space any in the world because there's so much demand. So even if they move, it's very hard to get set up and running. It's going to take a long time for difficulty to rise again. Finally, Revolut in talks with SoftBank for investment at 30 billion plus valuation report. Notable only because Revolut has had crypto trading back since 2017. A lot of this is a result of their crypto operations, and it's great to see continued interest by huge money in investing in the picks and shovels that make the crypto industry run. The big money is investing in infrastructure. You only invest in infrastructure if you believe that the market is going to continue to rise and that it is a legitimate market. That is all for today, guys. I'm really excited. I'm about to go interview Sam Bankman-Fried for a second round on the Wolf of Wall Street's podcast. Please check out everything I got going on down in the description, my newsletter, my amazing sponsor, Femex, and again, you can check out Compass Mining down there if you're interested in becoming a miner as well. Also, I will be live today at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, even though it is a holiday in America. God bless America. Then I love. We'll be here, and we're going to take a look at the charts. So until then, peace.